Hello and welcome to the TES Secondary Maths Resource of the Week number 10 for the 2016 to 2017 academic year with me, Craig Barton. Now, earlier on, I think it was October, for the newsletter, I included a section called Codebreakers because I'm a little bit obsessed with Codebreakers, and it went down really well, so I thought I'd dig one out and feature it in the Resource of the Week. Now, there's a bit of an assumption going round that Codebreakers are only applicable to number-based topics or algebra-based topics, and you may have seen them involving substitution or calculation to number operations and so on. However, the reason I wanted to feature this one is because it tackles a completely different topic and one that I would not have naturally thought lends itself well to the Codebreaker approach. And for those of you who are regulars on TES, it will be no surprise that a resource of this quality has been produced by one of my all-time favourite authors. Wonderful stuff. So to download these, you can just download them all in one go, all 4 files at the same time, or download them individually. They're all Word documents. There are 2 Codebreakers. The first one tackles cubes, cuboids and cylinders, so volumes of prisms, and the second one is your spheres, cones and pyramids. And what you'll be pleased to hear, I certainly was, is that the answers are provided as well. So let's take a look at the first one. So there is your Codebreaker, and those of you who've never done a Codebreaker before, you've never lived really, because they're absolutely superb. You get these questions, students work out the answer, write the answer on the top line, and then look for the corresponding letter that matches to it, write it on that row, the second row there. And that all goes together to form a classic corny joke. Now, if you look at this, this is all perfectly aligned for the new spec GCSE because volume is across foundation and across higher. So this one will be your kind of basic stuff, your volumes of prisms, but students, particularly foundation students and higher to a lesser extent, are going to struggle a little bit when it comes to working with cylinders and so on. And what I like about this is it's a bit different. So can you work out the volume of a cuboid for the first one? But look at this. This time you're given the volume, and can you work out a length? This time you're asked to work out the surface area. This time, where was I looking there? You are asked to work out the surface area of a cylinder, and a triangular prism there. So it's plenty of variety in there. And if I show you the second one, there's even more variety here, because this time we get volumes of cylinders, but we get volumes of spheres in terms of pi, surface areas of cylinders, volumes of square-based pyramids. And again, these are going to appear in foundation GCSE. Now, fair enough, the students may well be given the formulas for these, and by all means you can give the formulas out with the students, but it's going to be very important that they've had practice at this. And higher students, I would be expecting these to do them without the formulas and be very comfortable working in terms of pi. And look at that lovely selection of answers. Some of these will require calculators, some non-calculators, some in terms of pi, some not in terms of pi, and so on. And as I mentioned before, you'll be very pleased to know that the answers are fully provided. I won't spoil the joke, I'll flash off that quickly, because the joke's often the little payoff at the end for these classic things here. So there's your Codebreakers. What could we do to offer a bit of support to students in the classroom? Well, I would certainly be tempted to give them the formula sheets out. I'd also be tempted to use my counter technique. I'm going to talk more about that in a resource that they've got lined up in a couple of weeks' time, but I'd be very tempted to give each student or each group of students one counter that they can exchange for a hint if they're struggling on one of these, because you know they are quite demanding depending on the student themselves. And in terms of extension, you've got your classic one, haven't you? You've got your classic write your own Codebreaker at the end. Or I was thinking as well, you've got lots of these answers that haven't come up as letters. So why not give the students this same code thing and say, all right, I want you to write me a different joke or a different word that involves different letters. So then students are going to have to come up with questions that match these certain answers, and that's going to be quite challenging for students. So all in all, if you haven't tried a Codebreaker, give them a go. I'm not a fan of gimmicks and stuff in lessons, and I really don't think these are gimmicks. These are engaging ways to get students practicing key skills, and I'm all in favour of that. So there you go. I hope you found that useful, and I shall return with a fresh resource of the week next week. Take care, and bye.